Here is the truth nobody in HR leadership will say to your face. You could be the hardest working HR professional in your building, doing everything right, and still get passed over the promotion. Not because of your lack of skill, but because you are invisible in exactly the wrong places. Welcome back. If you have ever watched a colleague with less experience walking into the senior HR role, will you wondered and what went wrong? This video will definitely be for you. Today we are breaking down why capable HR professionals stall at middle level and what the ones who break through actually do differently. The first pattern I see constantly is what I call the execution trap. You become so good at your job and the leadership stops seeing you as someone who should be doing a bigger job. Onboarding is perfect, your compliance record is clean, your stakeholders are happy, and your reward. More execution work. The trap closely, slowly. You get great feedback every year, but you never get the conversation about what comes next. Here is why. Executing brilliantly is not the same as signaling the readiness for leadership. Leadership is watching for people who solve business problems, not just HR problems. The moment you bring a solution to a revenue challenge, a retention cost problem, or a productivity risk hiring use HR data, you step out of the execution trap. Until then, you are the best possible versions of invisible. This week, find one business problem that is not labeled an HR problem and bring your analysis to your next leadership conversation. The second reason mid level HR professional stall is what I can call stakeholder invisibility. Maybe a strong relationship with HR director, but the C suite, they do really know your name. Promotions happen in conversations you are not in the room for. Your CHRO nominates someone, the CFO asks who it is. The CEO either says great choice or reminds me what they have done. If the CEO cannot recall a single moment where you spoke intelligently about the business, you will not get that promotion. The fix is not politics, it is intentional access. Request informal 20-minute conversation with senior leaders not into pitch yourself, but to understand their strategic priorities. Ask smart questions, listen more than you talk. Over 6 months, you have built our sponsorship, then 3 years of executing quietly. Schedule a formal 20-minute conversation with a C-suite leader this month with no agenda, just genuine curiosity about their biggest business problems. The third shift is the most important and almost nobody does until it is too late. It is the shift from HR language business language. When you present to leadership, you are talking about engagement scores, training completion rates, or talking about revenue risks for attrition, productivity loss for people at onboarding, and the cost per hire versus internal promotion. These are the same data points, but one version gets budget approved and then gets polite nod and it is forgotten by the next slide. Directors and CHROs do not think in HR metrics, they think in business outcomes. Your job is to translate, and when you do it consistently, you stop being seen as the HR person in the room and start being seen as a strategic partner who happens to specialize in people. Drop in comments which of these three patterns you most recognize in your own career right now. Be honest. I read every single comment. If this hits home, subscribe because every week I put out content designed especially for ambitious HR professionals who are done being overlooked. Next week, we are talking about the exact promotion conversations you have been avoiding, including the words to use. See you then and have a nice time. Thank you.